Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to apply HTV, heat transfer vinyl, also known as iron-on if you guys are using Cricut brand. So I'm going to show you guys how to use your Cricut Easy Press. So this is basically like a handheld heat press that Cricut has made for us. Now today I'm using the 10 by 12 model, so it looks just like this. And I've already got my time and temp set. So how do you know what settings you should use? So if you guys actually go to Cricut's heat guide, which I'll have linked down below for you guys can scroll through here and you can select the exact, Cricut Easy Press that you have, whether it's the first model or the second series, your mug press, etc. Then you can choose your substrate. Your substrate is, say for example, t-shirt, tote bag. We're using 100% cotton. Then you would go in and choose your material. Are you using everyday iron-on? For today, I'm using Caesar Easy Weed, which is the exact same thing as Cricut iron-on, everyday iron-on, if you will. So we would pick the exact same settings. So once you do that, you're going to choose, whether you're using a towel or your Cricut pad. Today I'm using a 14 by 14 Cricut pad. So once you do that, then it's going to give you your time, temp, and all of the information you need to complete the job. So how do you guys set your time? You're simply going to press this one right here. You see where it has like the little thermostat, right? So you would click that and then you would use your plus or your minus, and this is what's going to adjust those. Now, I actually am supposed to have this at 3:15 for 30 seconds, but I'm actually using this right here, which is called Screen Print Confetti. And we need 325 to 350, so I've actually bumped that heat up a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys how we're going to accomplish that today. So normally with Everyday Iron-On, you'd have it 3:15 for 30 seconds. To set your time, you would click the little time here, and then same thing. You're going to push the plus or the minus button here. Now, once this turns green, so whenever it's heating up, it's red, but once it's green, it's ready to go. Once you hit that green button, your timer is going to count down. So you're going to see that here in a second. If you click it again, it'll reset. Power button is here, of course. All right, so we're ready to go. This is your handle. This is how we're going to, put it on and off. You want to make sure there is nothing underneath this tray here. You want it on a nice, flat, smooth surface. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I have already cut out this design right here, this SVG. I'll have it linked down below for you guys. If you guys are a Plus member for Design Bundles, I highly recommend that you guys check that out. If you guys are, purchasing a lot of SVGs, PNGs, and things like that. So this is only 1 Plus credit, so I've simply cut this out with my Cricut Maker 3, but you could use any of your Cricuts, Silhouette, whatever die cutting machine that you have. So once you have this cut out and ready to go, the first thing that we're going to do is fold it in half. So we're going to figure out about where our center mark is. Once we find that, just crease it like so. And you're going to notice we have a little crease. So that's going to help us center this right up. Now you could get rulers. We have videos here showing you guys how to make your very own using cardstock. So let's go ahead and prep up our t-shirt. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my Cricut Easy Press. I don't need to use the timer at this point. We're just simply going over it, just like an iron at home. So, if I know that I'm in this area, this is where my design is, I want to make sure you can just stick in one area if you want to, at least 5 seconds. What you're going to do is smooth out any sort of wrinkles as well as pull out that moisture. You don't want to skip this step. Next step is you want to take a lint roller here to remove any sort of lint. And now you are ready to go. You want to let your t-shirt kind of cool back down just a little bit, so that way you're not heating up this adhesive too early. So we're just going to let that cool for a second. While that cools, I'm going to talk about the other product we're going to use today, which is Screen Print Confetti. I'm using this Barbie Dust pink here, and then this black right here. So I'm going to kind of mix these two together. So this is a really cool product out there. So if you guys know what screen print is, you can now buy it in confetti and you can kind of sprinkle it around. We have a few videos here on the channel. I'll link them up above or down below so you guys could check those out. All right, so the temperature for this is 325, either 325 or 350. I chose 325. So what we're gonna do to accomplish this, so I'm not overheating my HTV, is I'm going to do a tack down method. You could do this when you're layering HTV as well, so you're not overheating. So we'll be able to tack this down for just 2 seconds. So it takes 30 seconds to completely get the adhesive, melted and bonded with your t-shirt, but it only takes 2 seconds to release it from its carrier sheet. Now, if you were using Cricut Everyday Iron-On, I have found that 5 seconds is better with the Cricut Everyday Iron-On. So, and also pay attention, is it a hot peel or a cold peel? That will matter as well. All right, so let's go ahead and start to find our, center here. You want to come around 3 to 4 fingers down, and to find your center of your t-shirt, just take your neck tag here, and you're going to come straight down. Another thing that you can do besides using rulers, and we have one even here that you guys can purchase, that you guys can use even cardstock. You could use lasers to cut it out. I use my Cricut to cut out in cardstock, and I'll link that for you guys as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and you're just going to basically line your t-shirt up. So get it nice and centered. So see how I've got both of these, together. I've got everything lined up nice and even. I can then come over here and really press. I'm kind of rubbing back and forth, pushing down, and I'm going to get a crease mark. So I'm going to go ahead and unfold this now. And hopefully you guys can pick this up on camera. You guys see that I've got a crease mark there? So now that is perfectly the center of my t-shirt. So now what I can do is take the center of my plastic here, my carrier sheet, come down around 3 or 4 fingers, and that looks good. Now, this has a carrier sheet. I don't need anything in between the Cricut Easy Press. If I didn't have a carrier sheet, obviously, you would want to put a piece of parchment paper on here. But I've got a carrier sheet, so we're ready to go. Now remember, we're just going to do a tack down. If you weren't using another product, I would have it at 315 for 30 seconds. But because I'm using another product, now one thing I want to show you really quick, this happens sometimes. That's how fast this will release. Within 2 to 3 seconds, this carrier sheet came right off on here. If this happens to you, simply take, your weeding tool, take the opposite side, don't take the scratcher side, and just push it right off, because that will happen. So now that we have our temporary tack down, this is not complete, it can't be washed, it would come right back off. So we only tacked this around 2 to 3 seconds. So now we are ready for our sprinkles. Once again, if you guys weren't doing something like this, or you weren't adding a second layer, you would just do that full 315 for 30 seconds. All right, so I'm gonna take my little sprinkles here, and I'm just simply going to sprinkle it about wherever I want it to be. Something about like that. And I'm actually going to bring this down. I can kind of scoot them around because they are not held down just yet. Then I think I'm going to take a few pieces of black here and kind of sprinkle those just on the outside, because I already have, black HTV here in the center. So maybe a few in the middle, about like that. But I don't want a ton of that black, if that makes sense. I want more of the pink. All right, so I think that looks good. I may want to come in and add just a little bit more up here, just like that, and may even actually kind of spread that around. Once again, before you press it, you actually have time to really move this about. So I think that looks good. I'm really happy with it. Now we're ready to press it. Now what we're going to do is take a piece of parchment paper. This is important. You want something that's non-stick, but you don't want to use like a Teflon sheet. You really want to use something like this that's like, disposable. So I'm going to cover everything up, and I'm actually going to press this in 2 presses because I have so much. Now this time, I'm going to do the full 325 for 30 seconds. This is not only going to set my HTV, but this is also going to set our screen print sprinkles. So now we are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get my iron down here, and then we're just going to turn the green button right here, which is going to start that countdown, and we are going to press. You want to give a nice, medium pressure. All right, now we're going to go ahead and press our next side here and hit go. All right, we're going to pick this up, move it out of our way, and now we're ready to peel. And there you guys have it. That's how easy it is to use your Cricut Easy Press. Not only did I show you guys how to use it with HTV, but I showed you guys how to use it with extra products. So you guys can sublimate with this. You guys can use it with screen print, as you guys seen. Lots of different things that you guys can do with your Cricut Easy Press. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.